So my first question for you, Vangie, the mother, tell us about your family history, your grandmother, your auntie, of that nature, of how you became a potter. Were there potters before? Were there basket makers? Things of that nature. So how that came to be, Vangie?
My grandmother was from San Alfonso, and then she started making pottery when I was still young. Taught from her making all that pottery that she used to make. And then my grandfather is half San Alfonso and half Haymans. And when my grandpa brought my grandma to Haymans, she started making pottery, but she was always making black pottery. And then she would go take us out to get manure to fire her pottery. I started with the black, but I didn't like it, so then I started with my red pots, carving, etching. That's how I learned from it.
It has to be enhanced, and by enhanced, in your creativity, it certainly is beautiful. And by that, we were certainly impressed of how half of it is actually in a different color with more of a melon structure, and then the front side is more of a scrofito, which is a fancier word for just etching. And it's amazing just to think for both of you that this is free form, and by that tells us you well experienced. So definitely we very cherish for your presence. Yeah, and you mentioned to my co-worker downstairs that how do you know it's the right pressure, and things of that nature. So we don't know if you scratch a piece, a surface, you have to redo the whole thing.
Yeah.
So can you explain or elaborate on that? What when you stone polishing?
It's hard during the summer to polish because of the heat. So we get up early, 5, 6 o'clock, polish when it's still cool outside. Polish, but once you can't even have long nails. Once you scratch the red part, you have to sand everything again.
Yes, and that's just another side of that natural ability to stone polish the wear. And what we're saying is that that stone polish have that right pressure, and if you don't have the right pressure, you can scratch a piece. And when you scratch a piece, you cannot just go over it and then fire it. We'll have a two-tone. You can tell where it was scratched. So it's very important that a lot of our consumer don't understand that. They think it's just something that have been purchased perhaps at a store and done the electro kiln. They don't understand the natural process from accumulating the clay, which is moist, it has to be thoroughly dried and wind dried, it has to be grind. They don't understand the process of the work.
Like I said, also the temperature.
And the temperature,
has
exactly.
a lot to do with the polishing.
Yes, and the polishing stone is actually very, very important.